Hello, dear friends. I'm your friend, the Wise Owl, here to bring you wonderful stories from all around the world. If you love listening to exciting tales and learning valuable lessons, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. That way, you'll never miss any of our new stories. Today, I have a very special story for you called The Wolf in Sheep's Clothing. It's a tale about being careful and not trusting someone just because they seem friendly. Once upon a time, in a quiet village near a big forest, there lived a hungry and clever wolf. This wolf was always looking for food, but the village was a tricky place for him. The sheep he wanted to eat were watched very closely by the shepherd and his strong, loyal dogs. Every day, the shepherd walked through the fields, making sure the sheep were safe and sound. The dogs ran around, barking loudly at any sign of danger. The wolf knew he could not simply walk into the village and take a sheep. If he tried, the dogs would chase him away, and the shepherd would protect his flock. So the wolf sat down under a tree and thought very hard. He wanted to find a smart plan, one that would let him get close to the sheep without being noticed. After some time, the wolf came up with a clever idea. If he could disguise himself and look like one of the sheep, maybe the shepherd and the dogs would not see him as a threat. The wolf smiled, feeling proud of his plan. He decided to find a way to put on a sheep's skin and sneak into the flock. That way, he could get close enough to catch a meal. One day, the clever wolf found something very useful, an old sheep's skin that had been left behind near the forest. It was worn and a little dirty, but perfect for his plan. Carefully, the wolf pulled the sheep's skin over his body, making sure it covered him from head to tail. As he looked at himself, he saw that he now looked just like one of the sheep in the village. Feeling proud and excited, the wolf quietly stepped out from the forest and into the green fields where the sheep were grazing. The other sheep looked up but did not feel scared or alarmed. They thought he was just a new member of their group. The shepherd, who was watching from a distance, also saw the wolf in his disguise, but since the wolf looked like a sheep, the shepherd paid no attention. The wolf moved slowly and carefully, trying to act like the sheep around him. He tried to walk softly, but sometimes his heavy paws made a sound. The other sheep did not notice, and the wolf smiled to himself. He was happy that his plan was working perfectly. Now, he could get close to his dinner without anyone suspecting a thing. At first, the sheep were curious about the new sheep in their flock. But soon, some of them began to notice that something wasn't quite right. The new sheep did not move the same way they did. His steps were heavier and louder, and he didn't nibble on the fresh green grass like the others. Instead, he just looked around with sharp, watchful eyes. The sheep started to whisper among themselves. "Why doesn't he eat like us?" One asked. "Why do his eyes look so different?" Wondered another. They grew more and more worried. The new sheep didn't seem friendly or kind. They felt something was wrong, but they couldn't be sure what. Finally, the bravest sheep decided to tell the shepherd about their concerns. They wanted to keep the flock safe. The shepherd listened carefully as the sheep explained what they had noticed. He knew he had to be extra watchful to protect everyone. The sheep stayed close together, hoping their shepherd would find out the truth. The wolf's plan was in danger of being discovered, and the jungle of the village was about to change. One day, the wolf felt bold and hungry. He decided it was time to act on his plan. Quietly, he moved closer to the flock, ready to catch a sheep for his meal. His heart raced with excitement as he thought his disguise would keep him safe. But the shepherd and his dogs had been paying close attention. They had noticed the strange behavior of the new sheep. and were prepared for any trouble. As soon as the wolf made his move, the shepherds shouted loudly to warn everyone, and the dogs began to bark and run toward the wolf. The wolf tried to escape, but his disguise slowed him down. The old sheep's skin made it hard for him to move quickly. The shepherd's dogs surrounded him, barking fiercely, and the shepherd himself stepped forward to catch the wolf. In the end, the wolf was caught. The villagers cheered, happy that their flock was safe once again. The wolf, embarrassed and defeated, tore off the sheep's skin and ran back into the forest. From that day on, he knew he could not trick the village so easily. From that day on, the villagers and the sheep became much more careful. They learned an important lesson. Not everyone who looks friendly or like one of us can be trusted. Sometimes, danger hides behind a mask, just like the wolf wearing the sheep's skin. The shepherd and his dogs kept a closer watch over the flock, always ready to protect them from harm. The sheep stayed close together and listened to each other's warnings. They knew that being alert and watching carefully was the best way to stay safe in the village. The villagers also helped by building better fences and keeping a watchful eye over the fields. Even though the wolf tried to trick them, the community stayed strong by trusting one another and working together. The story of the wolf in sheep's clothing was told again and again, so everyone would remember to be careful and smart. In the end, kindness and friendship helped the village live happily and peacefully. Friends, how did you like today's story? If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more wonderful tales. Tell us in the comments which story you like the most. See you in the next story. Until then, goodbye and take care.